So if you would like to make a movement about deleting privacy, all right, that's an idea. So there is then, okay, that happens, and then there is already big kind of anti-movement for that deleting privacy movement. And that anti-movement for deleting privacy is, the anti-movement is consisting of many decentralized crypto communities, cryptocurrency communities. And those communities, their idea is that they think that they think in the similar way like you. They think that the society should be more open. People should converse and discuss with each other more freely. So that the society could be more open and ideas could be shared and collaborated together more openly and freely. They think that. But at the same time, they think that their identity should be hidden if they choose to hide it. So they should, they agree with you that the data, that it helps people to develop the openness. It helps people to grow more efficiently. They agree. Yes. Yes. Those crypto communities, they agree with that completely. But their idea is that they should be able to hide their identity and even name if they choose so. So their idea is that the ownership of identity and privacy should be in the hands of themselves. And if that is possible, if it's possible to hide your identity, yet at the same time to participate in the public debate and the discussions and the ideas and the conversation and share with each other, then when your identity is hidden at the same time, it should create even more trust between people, and people would open up even more. Like their idea is that in that case, the society would be the most efficient in the long run when people can freely share everything, but at the same time they can choose how they share their identity, or if they don't share it at all. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. So there are crypto communities who think so, and their idea is that every let's say idea you put out there, it should be transaction on the blockchain, and then there is the ownership of that idea written on the blockchain, and nobody can ever change that. So the idea is that the blockchain is kind of the proof of the action, and with that proof of the action, it would become possible to have the authentic ownership of ideas which are shared. But without that, it's impossible, of course. The blockchain transaction records should be the framework that makes that possible. Mm. 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 I know. Mm. Mm. Yeah. More taxes. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yes, because it doesn't. Mm. 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 Um. Yeah. So. Um. Yeah. Let's run a talk. Mm.
Deeper details of the actual person's lives, and it's easy from the outside to claim that something is wasteful when in reality it might not be. So I think blaming and using the blame mentality in itself can cause unjustified blame and hate, and I don't think that itself creates any more valuable discussion as itself. Actually, I think that it creates toxic environments where people are not actually brave enough to express themselves, because that would mean that they would get trapped into this blaming, the cycle of blame, and thus I think the idea of blaming people for their assumed wastefulness is actually counterproductive.
Yeah.
I would claim.
I agree.
But let me say.
Yeah.
But could there be like just like one website where is like all the humans of the earth, and on about every individual there could be like their mistakes, and then there could be like it's created in a positive way, like 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 help this person to grow in these areas, and there could be like reasons for and against, like why this happened, and and like how to prevent this from happening and
yes, if the humanity completely matures from that hate culture and the entertainment of blaming others, because I think most of people, like Bruno said, it's toxic, and those people who are doing it, they are entertained by it. So
yes. So it should be like in a positive manner.
yes.
And like more like we should focus on like growth.
Well, this your point can already be counter-argued by simply claiming that, or asking the question that who has the monopoly to define what is wrong or right. That's an impossible question to answer. Let's say cheating is lying. In itself a pro or a con. It's kind of impossible to define almost 8 billion people with their actions being just or unjust, and who has the monopoly to do it. It's impossible, and thus I believe that this thing you're claiming for is impossible.
But could it be like enhancing like philosophical thinking and like endless discussion, like for example, defining more accurately what is a waste. How else we could improve any society without like talk freely and more open?
So
if you have a system like that like a register, that a register does not follow free discussion. For example, if you have a criminal record, for instance, for using marijuana in a country that has defined it as illegal, you can't use that criminal record as a place of free discussion. That doesn't work like that. So it's either there has to be a certain let's say a book of norms that defines within itself that what is acceptable or non-acceptable, and having a universal, let's say, code for that is kind of impossible, especially when we are considering what is wasteful or what is right or wrong. With law, it's kind of easy because you can always like you can back that up with democracy, such as, well, killing a man is not illegal. It's not legal for obvious reasons. But like for lying, I think is a perfect example because it's in a gray area. Is it acceptable? Is it non-acceptable? Should be illegal? Should it be illegal? I don't think anyone has the monopoly to define what is right or wrong in that sense. And I don't think if you have a register like that, there isn't a place for free discussion in itself.
But what if the register could be like intelligent? Like let's not think in the old fashion. Like it could be intelligent that the person in the question could be like they could like add their own comments why they did something or why they didn't something, and there could be like some other people who could like come to help, like why it wasn't possible or why it was possible, or like if the register could be like intelligent and
so are you claiming or are you pursuing a register that is presumably controlled by AI, and this AI defines what is wrong or right? Because how otherwise would this register be intelligent if not for AI? And if we want artificial intelligence to define what is right or wrong, I think that's very, very threatening, because I don't think a machine can actually do that. That's one of the things that can't be outsourced to machines, defining what's morally right or wrong.
No, it could be like I mean, when I said the intelligent register, it could be like both AI, but also all the humans, like together. Like it's like Wikipedia. In Wikipedia, everyone can edit anything. So they could like any person could like come to help or blame both hand. And if you blame, you must like explain like accurately, and if you help, you must explain accurately. And this kind of discussion could like create like more intelligent humans. So the world lies on humans, and the more humans, the better. So I didn't mean like just AI. AI could be like just basics that AI could like suggest like some kind of issues, but it should work like the internet or Wikipedia. That it's like open source. Any can go there. It's not like maintained like by the officers or the police or politicians. It should be like more open source, like the internet.
So the one source of the data into that Wikipedia would be from the application that we just talked about. That at first it would be that closed community that is kind of example of sharing that their privacy data out. And then if other people see that, okay, this is interesting experiment, then they could join the community and use the app themselves. I think that would be the shortest step into making that into reality. But another point I want to point out about that blaming and that shame, that kind of stuff, is that it's related to the previous point what I said, that there are communities which believe that the society would be more open if they would have the ownership of their identity, and if their action would be verified or proved on the blockchain, then that could be possible that there would be so-called real persons who have kind of hidden identity, and other people are able to relate to that hidden identity. And the good side of that is that many people who think that way, that they should have ownership of their identity, they are afraid of that possible shame and blame, and they are afraid that if they criticize some entity or some known politician or some known company, then if they criticize it, then they will be blamed and punished for that action. And I think that is actually the main reason why some people prefer that they would not like to share their identity and their private data, and they kind of think also that if people would have the possibility to completely hide it, then the society would open up slowly, and people would have more courage and bravery to share out even their private matters of life. So I think there are kind of two different solutions. One is that decentralized identity, and it would work at the same time simultaneously with the idea of a community that gathers up their private data into the Wikipedia kind of database from their mobile app, for the beginning at least. And that's I think that's a great idea, that the Wikipedia would be supervised by other people. But of course, you could help that work with artificial intelligence.
But then again, who are the people who are qualified and who have the authority to rule upon what is morally right or wrong? And again, if this system becomes so multi-sourced, does it mean that the actual system and the register itself loses purpose because it's too broad?
No, definitely not, because the rule of thumb is like that. Always when you do any mistakes, you have to pay. And this same applies to Wikipedia. There is anyone can be like a moderator, and if you show that you have like skills and you can behave in a good manner, in a good way, then you like your trust increases, and it should be like that. Anyone who is capable to explain things, and
wouldn't that mean there is an internal social credit system built into this register, which again comes back to the problem: who has the right to define what is right and wrong in this register and system?
Well, it should be like more like generally accepted things, and of course the guidelines should constantly update. It's the same thing with setting any goals. That the common mistake is like that you set goals and you forgot to update them, and then you stop growing. So anything should be always constantly trying to improve and update.
Okay, you talked about generally accepted things, and you want this register to have every single every single human on this earth. Name one worldwidely, generally accepted thing that could be applicable in this register. If that's so.
Helping in a positive manner while being understandable and accurate. Okay? Helping in a positive way while being understandable and accurate. Trying to
every single human on earth shares that value. Well, every single human on this register, then it should mean that there should be a moral compass that actually is applicable to everyone. Thus, if you want this register to be useful, then it should have these internal rules that would define what is right or wrong. And I personally find that there isn't a single rule that can be applicable to every single human on this.
Well, the register could start like by being like what people commonly think. The most people, the majority, but it shouldn't be like that. That this is like forever. It should be like that. The register is constantly updating itself.
And then you could vote what is updated and how.
Yes, and constantly updating even with any goals, like studying things, with studying anything, like and when you achieve something, you get, for example, any degree, you must like update your goals that no, I want to do more and more, like always thinking what can I do more, how to grow constantly more, and so everything could start from simple and basics and like what commonly people think, what is acceptable and so on, but it should be like constantly growing, like anyone could suggest some ideas and then people could start thinking these ideas, and that will create like new norms to
Okay, so if you want to implement a voting system, does this voting system operate by unanimous decision or by a simple majority, or how? Because if it's a simple majority, I find it very problematic, considering that could potentially leave up to 3.5 billion people not content with the rules that the register lays upon.
Well, things could start like with like commonly accepted things, what the majority accepts, but it could develop to the direction that any ideas that are explained in the best way, they are like selected and applied, like what is the most useful while having the best explanations is applied, and this could like teach the majority and
but then how do you define which is the best norm to follow? And then we come back to the problem of the voting, and you did not answer my question about, or rather my critique about the voting. Is it unanimous? Is it by simple majority, by some other form of majority? And if it's by, let's say, simple majority, that means that up to 3.5 billion people are not content with this register that you are suggesting. So there's a problem, a huge problem.
Okay. The voting could be like anonymous, because it can be like that, like that 3 billion people disagree, but like 10,000 intelligent and wise humans think in other way. So it could be like what the voting system could be like anonymous. It should be anonymous. So it's like paradox, like trying to decrease privacy, but while adding some anonymous features. But this is life. This is life, because I am realistic. I'm realistic. Like,
did I hear you correctly? Did you say that if 10,000 intelligent people disagree, then they have the veto right for this rule?
Yes. If like it should be like everything starts from like commonly accepted things and basics, but then it's like updates itself, like that. The ways that anyways that have the best explanations and are the most useful are applied and used. So it's like I know this is like not it. This is not like yes, like how to think, like how to really like develop like any society, because we just have one Earth, and we in all the societies have like many problems, and humans everything starts from individuals. Like they have problems in their mind, like what is their attitude, like are they too greedy, or what are their wants and wants. Basically it's wants. Needs is always fulfilled, but wants, what are their wants like? But
So
somewhat
a couple ideas is that that is of course really I think in a way I think that idea is possible, but how it becomes possible is that it must begin to develop gradually. So the first phase would be that it's completely, free will, free for anyone who wants to join, and it's open source and see through. And we cannot jump from the beginning to the point where we or actually we can already argue and come along the points that how the road or the pathway, the roadmap, how the roadmap goes from zero to the point where there is 5 billion people on the let's say Wikipedia register Wikipedia kind of community driven register. So the first phase should be that it's completely like free for anybody who wants to join. It's completely like open source and so forth. And then there is this term. I don't know, Petrus, if you are familiar with this term. I think you are not. This decentralized autonomous organization. That kind of term is in the crypto community. So
I have heard about
okay, good. Okay, good. So the voting system would have inspiration from this decentralized autonomous organization in some kind of way. I think that's wise to do. And yeah.
But we have climate change, and we must do something like very fast. Like consumption is genocide, and we should have like at the moment we have like 100 years perspective, but we should have 1 million years perspective, or 10 million years perspective. In like current consumption, nothing lasts like 1 or 10 million for 1 or 10 million years. Nothing, and everything is ruined. And this bullshit is going to end somehow, and I don't know when, but like it won't be like nice to watch, like when humans are dying and starving and suffering. But something has to change, and this can't continue. And the idea of this discussion was just like to proceed step by step, that how could we save the humanity. Like we have too short perspective. We should always think in the long term. Like one human life is like so like mikä on mitätön?
Minuscule.
Minuscule, yes.
Trivial or something, yeah.
So we should always think like what is best for humanity, and like cooperate, like systematically, like live for a better future.
Yeah,
Like-
I think there is idea, yeah. It's just I think for you especially, I think you could draw that roadmap and kind of make a draft of that roadmap and just simply bullet points, make a vision how where you start, and then think the briefest steps, and in some kind of timeline. So I would think, Petrus, that you could do that roadmap with this idea in mind. And I see that it's a good beginning, that some kind of application and then the open source database. And then you could think different kind of tools how people could use the data, and then find something relevant for their own lives. For example, if they want to improve fitness, then they could filter out, they could search up very easily, some athletes or regular persons like you, for example, or similar persons with similar weight and height like themselves, and then filter out the data, useful data from that database, and then use it for their own practice. So I think one important part of that database, or let's say Wikipedia, is that there should be some kind of scripts which let people to find the relevant data for themselves to use on daily basis.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's true that if we think this idea that the people would share their most private data from their lives, then that could begin new kind of development. I agree. But this was overall a good discussion, and what's the idea that we do another part later on, some other day?
Absolutely, but I gathered 4 main ideas that this wasn't like waste, and these are like, first, the intelligent register that works like the internet and Wikipedia. Second, applications to gather data for those who want. Third, the voting system should be anonymous, and finally, the guidelines should constantly update themselves.
Okay, thank you. That was a good conclusion to this conversation.
Right. Before we finish this off, Petrus, can I talk about the gym with you?
Yes.
How are you feeling when the gyms are closed now?
I'm exercising at home. I have a bench press and a bicep bar, and like.
I was seeing your bench press, like, you did like 80 kg for 5 reps,